to On and Off the Field, sports podcasting with a purpose. I'm joined by...
Rest assured, this is your boy, Coach Boston, a.k.a. Steeler Nation, a.k.a. Rest assured, the president is in the house.
Yeah, and I'm your Off the Field coach, Mr. You Better Live, a.k.a. my name is Rick. They call me Rick, a.k.a. Pastor Rick, the neighborhood pastor. I'm a hood pastor, but I'm somebody's pastor, Mr. Football Know-It-All, and basketball, by the way. Welcome to episode number 4. We in the building. What's up, Coach?
What's good? What's good? Man.
What?
Oh, my goodness. We back.
Back again.
I told you last week, if we didn't do another show, last week's episode was the best. Was therapeutic.
It was lit.
It was therapeutic.
Look, before we get in that though, welcome to Cinco de Mayo weekend.
That's right, Cinco de Mayo.
So I mentioned something to you off air, and it got so good I told you stop talking. Right? I said this. I asked this question. You know me, I'm cultural. Why is it that the black culture seems to celebrate other cultures more than our own? Hence, we'll see Mexican restaurants with black people too this weekend.
True.
Right?
True.
So, when I asked you that off air, how did you answer that? What did you say?
Well, it's different.
Historically.
Historically, the black culture has not been allowed to celebrate its culture. And so, things that the black race has done in terms of celebrating its culture has been kind of amongst its own and more so hidden. Okay.
You said something, though, that earlier. You said that, in particular, that other cultures' food has been celebrated.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But the black culture's
food actually, when you think about in history where whites went to soul food restaurants, it was actually at first it was in disguise, hidden.
Black people's food?
Yeah, going to soul food restaurants. It wasn't popular to go to black food restaurants.
So
in fact, the one restaurant up in Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Bear Bryant actually made it famous because he went there to eat. He's one of the first white guys to actually eat there. What's the place right there on I-65? The barbecue place you have here.
Me. I know what you're talking about. You got me.
Dreamland Barbecue.
Dreamland. Right.
So Dreamland up there, obviously it was in a black section of town. And it was only operated by blacks, because that's what it was during those times.
Right.
Well, during those times, that food, that culture was not celebrated.
So you think that's why the black culture celebrates others more than, you know what I mean? Because St. Patrick's Day, when it happens, black people ball out. Cinco de Mayo, you know what I mean?
I think with race and the history of race historically, I don't think blacks have really figured out how to celebrate their own holiday or their own day or their own food day. I think we have a lot of things to celebrate, and we do, but how do we do it nationally? I don't know.
Wow.
We need leadership. Here's something to say. I bet you if Dr. King wasn't assassinated, we probably would have been more organized at this point in our culture than we are now.
That's a heavy statement.
And we may have something that we could celebrate nationally, like some sort of Black Day or something like that.
We definitely lacking as a culture.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very much behind.
Facts, because Cinco de Mayo, they're gonna be like people starting tonight.
Right. Get your Coronas ready.
And the limes. Hello, somebody. Get your Coronas and your limes. So yeah, man. So it's crazy how we, and like I said, nothing toward Cinco de Mayo. We, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Nothing towards any race. I mean, it's just history of our country. I mean, it is what it is. The race relations and things that happen that suppress the black culture, it has had an effect on things like us not having a Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
Well, we got February though.
You know what people say about February?
What?
It's the shortest month of the year.
It's kind of ironic though, or is it? It's kind of ironic.
It's also the only month that's got a leap year.
True. Facts.
So why'd they give us February? That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother podcast. Yeah. Look, when you started out though, you talked about the last dude. Listen, how many times have you listened to the last podcast?
The last one, I think I listened to about 4 or 5 times, just different parts. Because the laughing, you know,
hilarious.
I'm gonna tell you something. Let me read you something, man. Let me read you something. This is from Jim Valvano.
Okay.
And Jim Valvano was the legendary coach for NC State.
Okay.
And when he made his famous cancer speech, he said, there are 3 things everyone should do every day. He said, 1 is laugh. 2 is think, spend some time in thought. Mm-hmm. And 3, you should have your emotions move to tears.
Wow.
He said, if you do those 3 things, you would have had a full day.
Every day.
And last week, when we did the podcast, earlier that morning, when I was thinking about my daughter, I had a very deep cry that day. Very deep.
I didn't even know that.
Emotionally draining cry.
I didn't even know that.
Oh. Then later that day, just some various things that I needed to do, you know, checking off boxes, to-do lists. I gave myself time to think about it and how I was going to do everything.
Wow.
When I got here, and I'm going to tell you something too, and this is no joke. I said I was going to be like George Costanza on Seinfeld. I was going to do the opposite. I said, so this time, God, you handle it. And I drove here.
Right.
And man, we laughed.
Dude.
I hadn't laughed, and let me tell you, as a bereaved parent, you don't take laughing like that for granted.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I laughed with a very genuine, heartfelt.
Dude, wow, we was like, I think
biscuits and syrup and MC Hammer had me rolling.
The river, the $25,000 water bill. Listen, bro, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But the episode, you know, there's a verse in the Bible that says laughter. It says laughter is as a medicine to the soul.
I can see that.
It says that.
Oh, I believe it.
It says laughter is a medicine to the soul.
Really, no doubt.
And that is so true. If you could just get a good laugh, dude, like it really is. And I had no clue that you had even had that event.
Oh yeah,
that
a full
morning.
A full day.
But you come over here and we laugh until we cry. I was crying and laughing.
I was too. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, the next morning when you called me morning.
I was sore.
When I
my sides was sore because I went back and listened to it at night in the bed and I laughed.
All right, that was good. That was a good one, man. All right.
So let me follow up with the draft. Remember you asked about the draft? How did Detroit get it?
Right.
The process is the same. It's going into the Super Bowl. The cities will submit bids and then they're reviewed and voted by the NFL's owners.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. And you know what's crazy about that? I want to mention this about cities when, you know, like Detroit, you know, the revenue that they get bringing in for that whole week.
Oh, it's
really, I guess for the Super Bowl, they start the interviews at midweek Wednesday when they start the kind of the media days.
Media arrives, you know, you got the players coming in.
So think about all this revenue being generated.
Well, remember, it's like here for the Senior Bowl, you know, but on steroids.
Right. I was going to say time 100.
Like on steroids.
So the city that gets the Super Bowl benefits all the way around.
All the way around.
Like every business in the city, you know what I mean? If it's reputable, they benefit, dude.
Everybody getting paid.
Everybody. You know, you got to wonder on a larger scale, how much money does that one city bring in? Just a ballpark figure of how much money, you know what I mean, to bring in for the Super Bowl, dude.
It's got to be in the billions.
It's got to be.
I would hope so.
I mean, spread across,
correct.
The whole city.
Right.
Everybody.
The economic impact is huge.
The bars, the restaurants, the bars, the mall.
It's felt for years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I'm glad for Detroit that they got the Super Bowl.
And then they had a great year as a team as well.
Absolutely.
And that's what really capped it off.
You think they're going to do better this year?
I think so. I like their coach. I like him.
Who they got in the North? The Packers. Dude. Did you know?
Shout out to Benny B, coach of the Packers.
Let me say this. I didn't know Honorable mention, Jordan Love threw 35 touchdown passes.
He balled out this year.
He threw 35 touchdown passes with 11 picks.
He was good.
But he did it so quiet, though.
Well, because everybody was, they forgot about Aaron Rodgers and you had Pat Mahomes, a lot of different stories, and his team actually wasn't, they were kind of up and down, as far as record wise.
Right.
So that's why they kind of fell on the radar.
That was,
he did well. I liked him.
Oh my goodness. I did not know he threw 35 touchdown passes.
He's very
and
impressive.
11 picks. That's good. Those are good numbers.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
So I want to see how they do this year. He played a really good game. I think he played the best game I ever seen him play.
They got some great picks in the draft, so we'll see. I think they'll have a great year. They got a lot of stability, and that coaching staff is still there. So they can do it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right.
So check this out. Remember we were talking about UConn and the lady Final Four.
Right.
That call that.
Right.
Remember the call.
Right.
Potentially cost him the game.
The game, it did. Right.
The referee is from Mobile. That referee is from Mobile.
Really?
Yes. Pat Adams.
Wow.
Now let me tell you, this is a quote that I got from a coach that was in the Sweet 16.
Who is the coach?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
This is a quote. I'm good with Pat. I know a lot of people don't love him. I think he's a great official. He'll call some random shit where you're like, what was that? But I'm all right with him. That doesn't bother me as much. That's going to happen some. It's kind of ironic that quote is there, and that call was kind of like some random shit.
And he did say, I don't think he's a great official. He said, I don't think he's a great official. Wow.
Well, I mean, he's been an official. You can't. I mean, he's been an official for a while. I don't want to knock him.
It does happen to some.
Yeah,
like
I mean, that's a tough job. That's a tough, thankless job.
Officiating.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, what's the gain? If why are they there? For you to be invisible, hopefully.
Explain that.
Well, when you go to a game, you're going to the Birmingham Barons football game, right? You ever find out who they playing again?
I didn't. She said it, but I forgot. I forgot. That's my bad.
So you go to the game. So you go to the game. You sit down. Do you look at the referee at all?
Wow.
I mean, do you even focus on the referee until something happens? A penalty or something like that.
Wow.
Ideally, you wouldn't have a penalty or something. Hopefully, it's a great game when you're watching the game.
With no call.
Right. Right.
I never looked at that before like that.
And then if you see this referee a lot, when you're trying to watch the game, you start getting pissed, and now you start blaming him for shit,
saying that they messing up the game.
Messing up the game, man. You making a bad call,
dude. I never looked at that.
It's a thankless
like that.
job. It's a thankless job.
Do they make good salaries?
Some do, yeah. Division I referees, umpires. They got a coordinator of officials with conferences. SEC, ACC, all the major conferences have their coordinator of officials. So they have a group of guys that they contract out with.
What about like the NBA?
They have. Oh wow, they do well too. I don't know the actual salary, but I know they do well.
And the NFL
it's nice travel. You get to think. You get to travel.
That's true. That's exciting.
You get per diem.
And then you hang
out with the guys.
You're in the middle of all of that that atmosphere, that electric atmosphere.
Right.
You get to be there and get paid.
Well. You do your job well. You get to hang out amongst the stars.
That's good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would take the bashing and the whatever talking to be able to do that.
Unless you're taking like a little referee's job at Hillsdale Recreational Center.
If I'm gonna be a ref, I'm gonna do it big. I want the NBA or the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, are there refs?
He started. I'm about
to ask a dumb question.
At Southern University when he was in school, recreational basketball.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let me ask this, and I think I know. I think it's yes. Are there? But like you just said, they're invisible. Are there refs in hockey?
Yes.
But
you would hope that you won't see them. You hope that they're not disrupting the game. The great hockey games have great flow, back and forth, like soccer. Think about soccer. You watch the World Cup. what do you see on the TV screen?
Right.
Even if you just have the TV screen in the background, what do you see? Unless there's a red card or a yellow card or something like that, you see the game being played back and forth, swaying back and forth, enjoying the moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
I never looked at refereeing like that.
The referee does his job. We actually take offense to it.
Here's our guest caller. Okay, here's our guest caller. Hey there, Terrance.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
bro?
welcome to On and Off the Field, man. You know who I got with me? I got Coach Boston with me, man.
Mr. Shua, welcome.
Okay, then.
We got T in the building. Can you hear us real good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, man. You sound good, too. Hey, listen, man, we appreciate you for coming on the show, man. Listen, I've been looking forward to this, bro. Been looking forward to this, man. How's everything going with you?
It's going well, man. No complaints at all. No, not a one complaint.
Listen, I know you've been busy. I talked to you earlier and to confirm the call in and the interview, man. I appreciate you calling in. And so, listen, we are ready to interview my brother, Terrance. You know, Terrance Hunter, man. You know what? I always have, like, the resume, right? And, you know, I love to rattle off people's resume. I told Coach over here, I said, you know, that's going to be one of the biggest things that we do is you know, with the introduction. And so I got you to send me your information, and I'm pulling it up, matter of fact, right now. Yeah. So this is what's amazing about this guy, right? All right, Terrance Hunter is his name. He's a licensed contract advisor agent for the CFL. That's the Canadian Football League. He did that for 9 years. A contract advisor, that's agent, NFL League, the NFL, the Football League, 3 years. Currently pursuing reinstatement. A designer with Hiller Systems, he did that for 6 years. Instructor at Bishop State Community College with drafting and design program, he did that for 3 years. An instructor at ITT Tech, drafting and design program for 4 years. An instructor at Virginia College, drafting and design, as well as business programs for 6 years. 1 master's of business administration from Virginia College. 1 bachelor of business administration from Faulkner. Y'all didn't know who this dude is. 3 associate's degrees, drafting and design, civil engineer tech, arts and science, the prep system, owner, founder, and proprietor, academic and career advising system for students in grades 7 through 12, none other than Terrance Hunter of Dream Hunters, Inc. Shout out to you, my brother. Did I get it right?
That is a tongue twister right there, man.
That's a tongue twister, dude. Oh, and I forgot, commissioner of the No Quitters Punk Fantasy Leagues, 15 fantasy leagues and growing. Dude, shout out, bro. Listen, I like everything you did on that except fantasy football. You know, I don't mess with no fantasy football, T.
Yeah, man.
You know I don't get down on fantasy football, bro. You know that.
You're going to have to try it out.
I can't focus. Coach, can you watch fantasy football? Can you play? Can you play?
I tried it. I didn't like it.
Why can't you play it?
I just like watching the game.
See? And you can't focus, right?
I just like watching the game.
All right. Just trying to figure out who you got in, who hurt.
I get it. I get it.
I do too.
But it's just not, it's not for me.
I do too. So T, we're gonna get right down with this, man. Listen, we gotta know this. We always ask every guest this, and I want Coach to tell his story real quick, because every time he tells it, it's monumental, and I need your answer first though. What's your favorite NFL team and why? Is he there?
Are you going with me or Coach
yes,
first?
I'm going with you, Coach. I mean, you, T. What's your favorite NFL team and why?
Oh, man, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I've been a Cowboys fan for the longest. Since the late 70s. I hear Coach getting choked up over there. But, I mean, I'm a Roger Staubach, Danny White, Troy Aikman, the whole nine. Dallas Cowboys all day.
All right, what made you a Dallas Cowboy fan? Why did you become a fan?
Well, part of the reason was, as I was growing up, I spent quite a bit of time with my grandfather down in Trinity Garden. And he was a Cowboys fan. He was a Cubs fan, the whole nine. But those Cowboys were the thing. So with the Cowboys being on TV just about every Sunday, it just became a Sunday thing for us to see the team, root for the team. And for me, it just made it that much more because that was the team that my grandfather loved.
Okay.
So,
Who was your favorite player?
who's my favorite player? Man, I've picked up a few over the years, but when I first started out, it was Ed Too Tall Jones.
Why'd you like Too Tall?
Man, he was a defensive force.
Wow.
You remember
that's the
Jethro
whole
Pugh?
thing.
Jethro Pugh? I think he played for the
Yeah.
Cowboys too. Jethro Pugh.
Man,
I don't remember him.
He played during that
Look.
time too. My mother went to school with him. Elizabeth City
Okay.
State. Yeah, Elizabeth City State.
okay.
You remember him, T?
Not quite. Mm-mm.
Okay. So Dallas, and then you said Too Tall Jones. Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
hey,
you know, you want to know the crazy thing, though?
what's up?
Another one of my favorite players wasn't a Cowboy at all.
Who was it?
Mean Joe Green.
Oh, there you go.
Now listen.
All right, now you redeem
See,
yourself.
because he's a Steelers fan.
he redeemed
Coach is
himself.
a Steelers fan.
Give him a hand clap.
Yeah, I give him
Give him a hand clap.
Give him
He
that.
redeemed himself.
Yeah.
I figured it had to be something if Coach started coughing.
Yeah,
If Coach started
boy.
coughing when I said the Cowboys, you either gonna have to be a Steelers fan, a 49ers fan,
Wow.
or a Saints fan.
Oh,
And the
wow.
Saints-
That's true.
And yeah, you know, and the Saints just became haters of the Cowboys
Yes.
Did they?
with no reason.
Well, the
Well,
Saints weren't competitive for many years.
For many years.
All those times.
They had that
So
brown
they
paper
had
bag.
nothing to talk about.
They had that brown paper bag
Yeah.
over their head.
Right.
Yeah.
2007, they finally came up out of their closet, took the bags off, and decided that, you know, we gonna do something look like something because Katrina ran through and gave them a new life.
Right. I still think
And
that
they
Super
ended up
Bowl
winning
was
their championship.
a given. How did you become T? How did you become interested in becoming like an NFL agent and a CFL agent?
Man, that story is just as wild as everything else. So
Go.
let me tell you about it, because my whole thing was, as you know, I got a passion for the youth anyway.
Right.
But when it came to becoming an agent, I made the decision to become an agent one day while I was playing Madden. You know, in Madden, you got what they call the franchise mode.
Right. Franchise mode. That's right.
Right. So, you know, after you play Madden so much,
Right.
I'm not sure about anybody else, but eventually you get tired of playing Madden
Right,
because
right.
you beating the brakes off of the computer, even on hard. So what I used to do was go into franchise mode and I would manage the team.
Okay.
So, you know, initially the thought process would be to become a general manager or, you know, something in the front office
I
area.
used to do that.
Right. So for me, it transitioned when it came to making sure that every young player was done correctly. And what I mean by that was that you hear so many stories or horror stories about players not being done right by their financial advisor or by their agent and so forth. So that kicked up for me because I'm sitting here, I'm playing this game, and I'm like, you know, I'm going through the process. And the light switch just clicked on and said, hey, listen, you know, you love advocating for the youth so much, and
Right.
you got so much to say about these young players and making sure that they're done the right way, that they got an advocate on their behalf that's going to be able to go in the front office and get everything that they need.
Right.
Instead of you being in the front office, it's
Right.
necessary for you to be right there by their side. So the only way that I was able to do that was either by becoming a player manager or becoming an agent.
How long you been an agent?
I've been an agent or for it's been about 10 years now, because once I jumped in with the NFL and I started pursuing that, I went ahead and got licensed with the CFL as well. So
Okay.
that whole process was a 9-year for the CFL, 10-year for the NFL
Okay.
process
All right.
for me.
All right.
Okay, cool. Hey, let me ask you this. Last week we talked about, we had a discussion on the biggest draft bust, Jamarcus Russell versus Tony Mandarich. And we discussed, you know, the varying factors leading into both. But the question is, as an NFL agent, will those players being a bust affect your job or your reputation, if that's your client?
Actually, no. And here's the reason why. Because as an agent, our first obligation is to this player and making sure that we negotiate a contract that is beneficial to this player.
Okay.
Okay. So with either one of those players being a bust, that didn't have anything to do. Partially, the contract was collateral, but that didn't have anything to do with the contract or the agent that negotiated the contract. The fact that they didn't want to get out there on the field, the whole nine, that becomes a thing of what is your support system doing that you're choosing to make decisions that's going to keep you off the field.
Yes.
And, the question will always come up, why is it that your agent isn't in place guiding you the way that they're supposed to? Well, you got to understand the role of an agent when it comes to that standard representation agreement. That agreement says that I am here to negotiate the ins and outs of your contract. That's it. Not the ins and outs of your life, but the ins and outs of your contract. That's my obligation as an agent.
Right.
Wow.
But like I said,
that.
when I got into this business, I got into this business for even more because I'm personable. And I want your best interest. It's going to always be at my heart. Now, we have a word that's called fiduciary. And that fiduciary just means that, I have to have your best interest even above my own. But even that is still limited to just my role according to that agreement and your contract.
As an agent, right?
Right.
That's fire. I like that.
Right.
I like that
Hey
too.
T, listen, church, Sunday school, man. I told Coach that we got some good Sunday school stories.
Man.
I told you. Let me do this. Give me one of your, and I know I'm catching you on the spot. Give me one of your favorite or either funny Sunday school moments, man. You can give me one of which one? Quick. Give me two quick ones. Yeah, you remember we used to have food. We used to have grits, eggs, bacon, pancakes.
Almost every Sunday.
We had a real griddle in the back of the Sunday school class, and they was flipping pancakes from scratch.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
You
sir.
could smell, our Sunday school class was at the end of the hallway. You could smell the breakfast, bacon, eggs.
Oh.
We had 100 people. We had 100 people in our Sunday school class.
I bet
Absolutely.
you did.
Teach.
Absolutely. And see, this ain't Sunday school like, most people tend to do Sunday school. You get up there and you got the old teacher that's going to, try to teach straight from the Bible and even get half of the words mixed up. This ain't what we had, because we had a real life up in this thing, and we're going to talk to you straight.
It was good. Hey, T,
Man.
you remember when I brought the casket in? I brought a casket in Sunday school. So here's why. Here's what I did right quick. Let me tell you why I brought the casket. He remember what I did. Coach, he gleans off of that, man. He does. He gleans. So I was teaching, and I talked to Bernard. I said, can you bring a casket up to the Sunday school? He said, man, what you doing? I said, just get it up here. He brought it. Somebody helped me get it up the steps. We were on the second floor, so we had to take a casket up 2 floors.
Yeah.
In the stairwell. So when I get the casket in there, it's open, all set up. And before anybody get in there, we got 100 people in the class. So everybody show up in the Sunday school class. I got the casket sitting there. I'm behind the podium, and they walk in, they look. They like, who is somebody in the casket? What I did was I put a mirror in the casket where the head is, and I said, everybody.
You did that at church one day.
I did. I said, everybody, come see why Jesus died. And so when you look in the casket, you see yourself.
You did that at church one day.
That's what I did.
That was deep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I said, come see why Jesus died. So they peek over.
Right.
You see yourself. I did that in Sunday school. Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah. That was good.
And even the breakdown that you gave of the biological death of Jesus.
Right.
That was something serious. That was something else that just made me catch on to Sunday school class and be like, okay, this brother right here.
I'm gonna have to share
he's
that with
give you
Coach.
everything that you need to know.
I'm gonna have to share that. It was the anatomical and physiological part of the crucifixion of Jesus. I'm gonna have to show you that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good. All right,
Terrance, we're gonna switch gears. Tell us real quick your background, where you're from. Did you play high school football, basketball, sports you played coming up as a youth?
I'm born and raised right here in Mobile, Alabama. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, anywhere out of town. So I've spent the majority of my life right here.
Okay.
I went to Williamson High School.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Lions.
Absolutely.
Biscuits and syrup went there too. Jamarcus, he knew what I was talking about. Listen,
T.
Did you know about biscuits and syrup?
Look. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When you ask about the top bus or the number one bus, I was definitely gonna give you Tony Mandarich, because ain't nothing that you're gonna be able to tell me when it comes to Jamarcus Russell.
Okay.
Most of the way through, I've had an opportunity to see a lot of what the kid went through.
Right. Sure.
On his way up, and how great he was.
Right.
In getting there.
Right.
And then you also have to understand that this system that many of these kids go in, and here's another statement that I want to give y'all, a little nugget or a seed that I want to place in your ground.
Drop it, baby.
We skip over the fact that we get, and I'm just throwing a percentage out there, because you get maybe 261 players in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
We skip over the fact that we are getting at least 185 brand new black millionaires every year. What system is in place to make sure that right there is helping to grow the community? Because the community is still looking the same. From what I can tell.
Typically what happens, they get that money and they take care of their own extension, their family and their friends, and that's it.
And it happens.
Yeah.
And it happens. Good financial advisors are great people. And shout out to my guy Rick Griffin of Rick Star. I know that's one of the things that I'm just throwing out there, but that's my guy.
Okay. Shout out to him.
Financial advisor with the NFL.
Hey, T, let me ask you this right quick. Do you think Jamarcus could have used better
yes.
guidance?
Yes, absolutely. You ain't even got to finish your statement, because at the end of the day, the one thing that I know is that when you center yourself around God-given people and people that are advocating on your behalf, there's some choices that I don't care how.
You can say you don't give a damn. You can say that. You don't say you don't give a damn.
Then. Well, I don't give a damn how much you think you're in position to be in control. God got somebody there that's going to be a standard and a fence on your behalf. And most of this stuff that's coming across to you, and most of these choices that you're trying to make because you got the money, you ain't going to make.
Absolutely.
So having said that, you asked Coach a question. You was like, what system is in place, to advocate for these people, that the 185 new millionaires that you mentioned. So then, having said that's where the prep system comes in, right? That's catching them younger though, right? Could you tell us about the prep system?
Yeah. Yes. Now the prep system is designed to catch them in between the 7th through the 12th grade. And it's not just for athletes. The prep system is for any student at any level, anywhere, because what the prep system does is it teaches you how to utilize the system that you're already a part of. Mm-hmm. And it teaches you to utilize it for your own personal benefit. Because the understanding and the breakdown behind it is going to be this, and I can give you numbers on this. If you have a school that has a class, let's say a graduating class of 235, just about every school that you take a look at is going to have about 4 guidance counselors, 1 guidance counselor per level, 9th through 12th. Mm-hmm. That's 235 students to 1. It's a whole lot of students that's going to slip through the crack.
Wow.
If that student isn't paying attention to their own progression, their own purpose, their own educational plan.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
So the prep system is built to make sure that the student and the parents are the ones that's focused and responsible for their own personal educational plan as well as career plan, so that now everything that you're doing in high school can absolutely prepare you for college or into your career.
Okay.
But now here's the hidden information. Now you didn't turn me on now.
Come on.
So here's the hidden information. Now you're not going to be able to find it in black and white. If you do, please by all means send it to me.
Okay.
The understanding is that every one of these higher education institutions are getting paid for the level of 4.0 students, or just a little below. They're getting paid, or they're getting government subsidies for those students that are coming to their institution. Okay, so if the government is going to give me $1 million for you, each one of you 4.0 students that come to my institution, then I'm going to offer you a scholarship of $250,000 to come to this institution. Correct? That would just make sense to me.
Right.
Which means now I'm pursuing you to give you a full ride scholarship. Well, you as the student on the other end, why can't you start that process in the 7th grade? Knowing that you're preparing for that, in the 8th grade, you're able to transfer credits into the 9th grade. Okay, for high school credit. And let's say you're progressing through high school to the point to where you can just about graduate in the 11th grade, or you can graduate early.
Okay.
Well, for me, you have a system of dual enrollment, and you also have a system of being able to take college courses while you're actually in high school, almost to the point of where you can get an associate's degree before you leave high school.
Right.
All
Okay.
of this stuff is in place.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
That's some good benefits. Those are some good benefits. That adds value to the student.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
now imagine that you've already prepared yourself in high school for the career that you want. You've taken the classes that you need
Okay.
to progress in college. And this college gives you a full ride scholarship because they already benefiting on the back end, because now I have this 4.0 or this 3.8 student that's coming to my school.
Okay. Okay.
But you can turn around and turn that full ride scholarship, being that you already have 2 years of college already taken care of while you're in high school.
Okay.
Now, instead of that full ride, it's still a 4-year scholarship.
Okay. Okay. So now that's good. That sounds good. So if I was a parent, what would you tell the parents that's listening? How could their child be involved in the program, in the prep system? How can they go about?
Well, the first step in finding out about the program, they can go to the website, which is at www.theprepsystem.com.
Okay, www.theprepsystem.com.
Yes. Yes, you can go in, you can look at all the information that's going to be necessary for you. You can log in, sign up, and go through the modules that are already in place.
Okay.
You can do a virtual with myself, or you can actually come to in-person live sessions that we'll host on the weekend.
Okay.
Tell us about Dream Hunters.
Now, Dream Hunters is one of those things where initially I started it as a nonprofit organization that was a hub for other nonprofits, where we were able to get indoors or get financial backing that many of these other nonprofits and these other entities weren't able to get, so that now it was possible for us to disperse into multiple areas in the community.
Okay.
Well, we transitioned from that into preventable homelessness, which allowed us to now focus more on the teenagers who are falling through the cracks that could very possibly not find themselves in position for homelessness by way of programs like the PrEP system and by way of other partners like the Village, who's over in Baldwin County doing their thing over there,
Right.
or
Right.
Helping Hand, medical.
Shout out, man, the Helping Hands.
Emergency food pantry.
Facts.
You know, all of these partners we have, we like to make sure that, you know, we're providing for them as well to continue to do the work that they're actually doing, because at the end of the day, it's a community, it's a village,
Right.
and it's necessary to make sure that that whatever resources we have, we make those resources available to everybody else.
T, explain STEM.
What is
STEM.
STEM.
What is STEM?
STEM is a focus on science, technology, engineering, and math.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an innovative way to deal with problem solving and critical thinking. That's at the foundation of what STEM is. So, what you tend to find are different activities or different individuals who will host either classes or sessions or just fun events for the youth to get involved with STEM and start focusing on more things that are based on problem solving and innovation, more
Okay.
so than anything else. So,
Okay.
why should a parent of a child focus their child to go to be an engineer? Why study to be an engineer?
And engineering is kind of a broad topic, because now we have so many different branches of innovation that you can't even focus it on the idea that engineers make so much money. It's a great career, you know, and so forth, because the fact of the matter is that the same knowledge that an engineer has, a brick mason would have, and you don't have to go to school as long to become a brick mason, or
right.
you know, even a plumber. So it becomes a age-old argument as to whether or not you're going to go to school and create all of this debt versus going into a technical career and start making money up front.
Okay.
So my thing is, if you see that that potential and that passion in your student, if you know that your child is math driven or problem solving driven, and it's on that academic level where you know that they can handle this, then yeah, by all means, send them somewhere where somebody that is ingrained and somebody that loves that type of challenge can teach them and mold them and mentor them to a much higher level. That's the only way that this world that we live in continues to grow, through the innovations that we have. I mean, AI is something else. Now, AI is a beast, but it took somebody that understood the logistics of that language to be able to put it together so that now it can start reproducing itself in the sense of being able to now think critically for itself.
Okay, sounds good. All right, T, we got this segment called the Final Drive Sports Jeopardy. So we speed. This is our speed round. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The first one we're gonna give you is this: what is your favorite day of the Mardi Gras season and why?
Man, you know what? I'll take the week after Mardi Gras, because that's when the Trinity Gardens Parade is, and it's much more family oriented than anything else.
Okay.
So yeah, you can absolutely give me that.
All right. So watch this.
What if the Hulk fought the Thing? Who would win?
Okay, now you have to be a comic book buff to understand where I'm coming from. Because at the end of the day, the Hulk is immortal.
Buff just asked
Yes, sir.
I asked you
Yes,
because
sir.
I collected comic books. So
well, hey, the Hulk is immortal, so the Hulk is the one that's gonna win that thing right there. The thing that you got to understand, though, is, see, Ben Grimm has an attitude.
Wow.
Okay, it's clobbering time for him. well, his attitude don't do nothing but feed the hope. So ain't no calming the hope, ain't no explaining that he gonna turn him into David Banner, because no, them fists being thrown, them hands are being thrown, and everybody is upset. So yeah, it just feeds the hope parade. So yeah, you ain't gotta worry about David Banner. You gotta worry about being Grant.
I love it. T, you get some hand claps without it. All right, listen. All right, what's the best local athlete in any sport you saw growing up?
Oh man, now I can call a couple of names. Just growing up on the inside, I'm gonna say my brother James Hunter, man, because that dude right there.
Your brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, athlete. He ran track, man, and they held records in track for 20 plus years.
Okay.
Wow.
Running the 100, the 200, and the 4x100. Coming out of Williamson.
Shout out to him.
Through 90s and on up. So
right.
yeah.
Now, what was the other one?
The other one, I'm gonna have to say Electron Williams. I'm a football fan at heart from the youth on up.
You remember him, Coach?
That was always called was Electron Williams, but he didn't go. I think beyond college.
I don't think he did.
As far as being the baddest in this area, that was untouchable for years, it was Electron Williams.
Williams. Who's the best high school football coach you think in Mobile history?
Okay, now I've been off the wall this whole interview, so I'm gonna give you another one.
Okay.
This one wasn't even a football coach. He was a track coach.
Okay.
But as you know, track transitions into football,
right,
which make players that much better.
Right.
Okay.
I got to give it to Sam Petaway. Still family. That's my uncle.
Sam Petaway.
But, yes, sir. If you look at his history, and they just not even considering putting him in the Alabama Coaching Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. All right. Salute.
If you talking track and making people faster and making sure that they're dedicated to their craft, and it transitioned to the football field, which helped Davidson become the team that they have over the years. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Sam Petaway, and I got a plethora of athletes that will tell you the very same.
Shout out to him, Sam Petaway. Listen, give me your favorite HBCU band and your favorite HBCU stadium where you tailgated and your experience. Give it to me. Give it to us.
I'm gonna give you Atlanta A&T.
Atlanta A&T. Really?
Yeah, man. I'm kidding with you. That's the fictional band from Drumline.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Atlanta A&T. Who you got though? Who you got, T?
I'm gonna go with the Sonic Boom of the South, simply because they were down here most of the time during the parades. They have always had that name and have established an excellence in everything that they've done thus far. So,
you had a good tailgating experience with them? You had a good tailgating experience with them too?
I have not tailgated with them a whole lot. Actually, the tailgating experience that I had was at Mississippi State.
Okay.
Is wild. But yeah, Mississippi State,
Starkville?
man. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That tailgating experience out there was something different.
I went last year.
Did you?
Yeah, when they played Texas A&M.
How was it?
It was incredible.
The tailgating experience?
Yes.
Did you didn't go in the game?
I went with some FedEx pilots. I went to the game too.
You went inside?
Yeah, I sat behind the bench.
Is it like a really electric?
It is. They cowbells.
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, that's right. Mississippi State with the cowbells.
Cowbells.
Oh man.
Did it drive you crazy?
Nah, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool.
Wow. All right.
So check it out. Check it out. T, you leave the hospital after breaking your ankle. Mm-hmm. Sadly, you got to catch the bus home. When you get on the bus, there's one seat left. You manage to sit down, but now it's standing room only. Okay. At the next stop, Rosa Parks walks on the bus. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I get up and give up my seat, and I fight anybody else that's still sitting down.
I knew you were gonna do that.
One ankle and all. Now you're gonna have to come on with this.
Hey, you know,
ain't nowhere in the world.
Hey, coach, you know he nicknamed himself a silverback. He nicknamed.
Yes, sir.
He calls himself a silverback.
Oh no,
He's huge. He's 6, dude. How tall are you, T?
6'3", 282.
He's huge, bro.
Did you play football? What
Yeah.
position you play in football?
I played football up through middle school, and that was it. It was
Okay.
defensive end. I
Defensive
played
end.
baseball in high school. I know we skipped all over that question earlier, but yeah, I played baseball and ran a little bit of track
Okay.
Okay.
in between middle school and high school, and that was the reason why I didn't play football in high school. I loved it in middle school, but I ran track for Coach Horton.
Okay.
Okay.
And during the summer when I was getting ready to transition into high school, and he just rubbed me the wrong way. And I knew that going to Williamson, he was going to be the football coach. Now you can either make a choice. You can decide not to play for this fella, or you can suck it up and get on out there and understand the fullness of what all of that was. And I'll tell you right now, I've regretted not going out there and playing football for Coach Horton for the majority of my life. I'll put it like that.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah, because I was a hell of a football player. I enjoyed playing.
Wow. That's what's up. All right, I'm gonna run this scenario by you, right? All right,
Okay.
You got the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Lawrence Taylor, Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, and Jamarcus Russell. They backstage waiting for their cell phone to ring. Who you gonna call first to draft?
Looking at them at the end of their career, or right here at the very beginning, without
Very
else happening day one.
Very beginning, day
day
one.
one.
Yes. Lawrence
I'm going
Taylor,
with
Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, and Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, I'm going with Jamarcus.
Really?
Yeah,
Not knowing
yeah,
anything.
because he was a game-changing quarterback. He was that type of quarterback, and at the time that he came out, yeah, you saw other quarterbacks that can get out of that pocket and run.
Okay.
But he was that type of quarterback that had that build for sustainability in this league. Big quarterback, he could see over the line. He got a strong arm,
Yeah.
and he's quick out of the pocket. So,
Okay.
absolutely game changing. I'm looking at, Michael Vick and all of this other stuff going on. Then yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your favorite city you've ever visited in your life?
Well, I haven't visited many, but I'll definitely say Washington D.C., and it's mostly because of all of the historic information that we have out there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
with
sure.
the different monuments, with everything that you can actually go and see.
They got the new African American Museum now.
Right.
Okay. That's what's
But
up.
the fact that the majority of that city has been built from the ground up by African Americans, man, come on.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Listen to this. We're going to switch to basketball, high school basketball. I got a question. Could this year's local Viger boys high school basketball team, could they beat the South Carolina women's basketball team in a regular officiated game?
Hell no. I ain't got to hesitate. Hell no. Them girls are wet ass.
Woo, shout them out.
I got to shout him out on that.
He didn't even
I
hesitate.
couldn't hardly get the question out, too. Go ahead, Coach.
Hey, which famous actor took Marvel's Luke Cage name for his own last name?
Man, if you could see my face right now, I'd be tripping. I'm okay. I'm just gonna say Nicholas Tim Coppola.
That's correct.
What?
Nicholas Cage.
Yeah, Nicholas Cage.
His name is actually a Coppola. He's actually
What?
Coppola.
He took that from
He's a comic book buff.
what?
I drove him down here when he was down here filming that movie in Indianapolis.
Really?
Yes, and I took
Okay,
him to
then.
all the different comic book spots.
Oh,
That's fire, bro.
Look, he liked Luke Cage was his favorite comic book hero growing up.
yes, yes.
He named his son
Absolutely.
Jor-El after Superman's dad.
Wow.
T, who's your favorite Marvel hero?
Oh man, look, I'm a Wolverine fan, but see, it can't just be Wolverine.
Right.
Okay, it's got to be Patch.
I got you.
You got to give me Patch because Patch was a boss.
Patch, hey, Patch a beast, bruh.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thing. Patch, man. Wolverine with the blue and yellow, and Wolverine and the brown and the beige. That's all good and everything, but Patch is the one because Patch don't give a damn.
Yeah.
He's gonna cut through you.
I like that.
What about DC? Who's your favorite DC comic book?
Golly, DC. I don't spend a whole lot of time with DC, but the fact of the matter, I started picking up on Batman.
Okay.
Just off the idea that hey, he's this regular guy that has gone through the ropes and put himself in position to be a hero.
Batman's past is super dark
in the shadow.
Yeah.
Oh man,
his past is dark, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
It's depressing.
Absolutely.
I've watched Batman for years growing up.
His grown mindset is
PBS.
depressing.
I watched it on PBS back in the day.
You know who else is depressing? If you switch back to Marvel, Spider-Man. His past, dude, his life is depressing.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
How he got there, and the death of his,
Like, it's depressing if you look at it, dude.
Man, you lost your uncle and your girlfriend.
Facts.
And you could have done something about it both, man.
And then Aunt May died.
Right. Facts.
That's crazy. Look, listen, T, I know what you're going to say. I got to ask anyway. Best cigar bar in Mobile. I already know what you're going to say. I already know.
It's the Hit House at Kazula.
I already know.
Downtown on 5 Cedar Street. You going to have to come see me.
Give them the address one more time.
It's 5 Cedar Street.
All right.
Downtown Mobile, Alabama.
And it's the Hit House.
The Hit
Yes,
House.
sir.
Okay.
All right.
Who would win a steel cage match between current Cowboys Michael Parsons and former Cowboy lineman Larry Allen?
And Larry Allen will toss his ass all over that cage. I don't care how quick he is, man. Did you see Larry Allen run down a damn DB?
Yes.
Who was that against?
Oh my God!
He chased him down like you would think a DB would chase, someone
lineman down.
Yeah, and this guy's over 350 some pounds.
Who was that against, dude?
I can't remember.
I want to say it was Green Bay.
It was Green Bay. It was Green Bay.
Yeah.
It was Green Bay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was getting it.
Yeah.
Plus he was the first and only one, if I'm not mistaken, who squatted 700 pounds. So or was it squatted or deadlift? One or the other.
I don't know.
Didn't matter.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't. Look, so listen, I got to get your thoughts on the NIL and the transfer portal in college sports, man. I need your thoughts on that.
Okay. So the NIL, as far as I understand the way that it works, the NIL is supposed to go through the school. And, every kid that's a part of the school itself would benefit from that deal. Now, different kids are on different levels, of course, because the NIL is just a acronym for, the boosters can do what they choose to at this point up front.
Through collectives. They're doing it through collectives now.
Right,
These
right.
Independent your boosters, Rick.
Remember we talked about that.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So it's a thing now where the students are able to benefit, and they're able to now write it off and say, hey, you've come to play for us. This is what we were able to collect in sponsors, and now here's your portion of that.
Okay.
That's what the NIL comes down to. That's what it's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
The whole nine. But then you got some of these kids out here trying to go out there and find their own NIL deal, putting themselves in position to become ineligible because they're now getting sponsors that are not how should I say approved.
Okay.
by the NCAA.
Okay. Okay.
So that can become an issue for them. And just the transfer portal is no different from any other job market. I mean, if you ain't getting paid well enough on this job, then you're gonna find you another job. And ain't nobody on that other job telling you that you can't work, or you can't get paid, or you can't benefit from having this job, for a whole year. So, it is
those coaches held those kids hostage for years.
Yeah,
with transfer.
Yeah, well, and not one coach who went from one college to another college has been told at any point in time that you can't coach this team in the next year, or you can't benefit from moving.
Facts.
You can leave your job, you can leave this college and go to another one and coach the very next year, but you can't. You tell this kid that they can't go and be eligible, or they can't play, and you put quite a few kids in a bad spot. For even being able to further their career.
Well, that's hypocrisy though in itself, though.
Oh yeah,
in and of itself, hypocrisy.
Absolutely.
Even the rule that they made, it was hypocritical.
So tell me, you're a GM, and you got to hire a head coach, and these are your two finalists: Tom Landry or Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, I'm Jimmy Johnson all day.
You hired him over Tom Landry?
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I bring in Jimmy Johnson over the current Cowboys coach.
Hey, listen.
Hey, Jimmy Johnson is the man.
Since you brought that up,
damn Tom Landry. Nope.
Since you brought that up, dude, what they gonna do with Dak, bro? I'm sick of talking about it, but I need to hear from a Cowboy. He's not it, T.
Dak, anytime I look at the TV and I see Dak get wide-eyed, I know it's going to be a bad game. Okay? I know we catch a hell. So if I'm at that place now, I understand. Throughout the season, Dak has given me his entire career at least 8 wins.
Wow.
And I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I would love to see a championship come up out of him, but you also got to look at the fact that that these are times where you're dealing with an Aaron Rodgers, you're dealing with a Peyton Manning, you're dealing with a Tom Brady, you're dealing with a Pat Mahomes, you got a LJ, Lamar Jackson.
Right.
You got quarterbacks on all these other teams that's hands above better than your quarterback.
They are, bro.
You need him to be serviceable and to get out there and do his thing, but hell, he can't. I can't even say he's looking like a Eli Manning, because Eli Manning won a couple of them.
Two of them. Before his brother.
Tom Brady.
Facts.
Before his brother did.
But it's that thing of I like the way that he plays, in the sense of being able to throw, and for the most part being able to manage the game. But when it comes to making decisions of throwing the ball, where you have one receiver and 3 DBs, that don't work for me. When you running around in the back of the pocket and the clear field is open, and you decide not to run but to throw the ball out of bounds, that don't work for me.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Those are the things that frustrate me, because he makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
In critical games.
Well, man, I had to hear it from the horse's mouth, man.
Yes, sir.
I had to hear it from the horse's mouth. We appreciate T. We were trying to get this interview in, man. You got any last word for him, Coach?
Look, I look forward to talking with you one day, man. Gosh, you're very impressive.
Face to face.
Yes. Very impressive.
Sir.
Listen, T, you got any last words for us, man?
Well, I'm going to ask Coach if he smokes cigars. If he smokes cigars, he can find me down here at the Hit House.
I'll find you.
And we can have all the conversations that you want, brother, because I'm here for it.
Say less.
All right, we're going to do it, man. Listen, this been on and off the field. We had Terrance Hunt on here, the NFL agent, my homeboy. We appreciate you, man, for pulling up, calling in, and taking the time out, T, man. I appreciate you, big bro.
Yes, sir, man. Thank y'all so much for the highlight, the opportunity, and just the relaxed mode that we have, because being on the line with football and comic football. That
We're glad you enjoyed yourself, man. Be easy, T.
Peace.
yes, sir. We'll
Talk
do.
to you later, man.
All right, y'all
All right.
take care.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Out.
Very
That was
impressive
good.
guy.
That was good. Yeah.
Very
That was
impressive.
Very good.
Very impressive. Very accomplished.
Yeah. Yep. That was a good interview, man.
Wow.
Good interview. All right. You had a Yoda. Did you?
So
you
yeah,
had me
so I
excited.
wanted to do one more Yoda moment.
Okay.
I think the last one was really good, and how
Yeah.
we brought that in. So
Oh,
let's do it
man.
again.
All right.
Let's do it
Let's
again.
go.
You ready, Yoda?
Now listen, mind you, people that's listening, he has not told me this. We hadn't even talked
This is
about
on
it.
the spot. I'm putting him on the spot.
Right.
He calls himself a spiritual Yoda, very knowledgeable about the book, and I can attest he is. So anyway, tell me about one day I was in church listening to you speak about Barabbas.
Okay.
And who is he? What did he do? Tell us about Barabbas in that story with Jesus.
Barabbas was known for. Well, let me say this first. I would like for you to understand the spiritual context of Barabbas. And let me mention this real quick. There was two trees in the garden, tree of the knowledge of good and evil, tree of life.
Right.
Right? Right beside each other. Those two trees. God told him, say, pick which one. You get free will. He told Adam and Eve that. Funny enough, the story of Barabbas talks about Jesus' day getting arrested, so his day in court. When Jesus goes to court, Barabbas just so happens to have the same court date as Jesus. Imagine that. You got the same court date as Jesus.
Oh wow.
So you and Barabbas show up.
Oh wow.
And Pilate puts both of you out there in front of the people. Jesus here, Barabbas right next to him. Pilate says to the people, he say, you can have any one of these guys that you pick. You can have Jesus or you can have Barabbas, who's notorious for thieving, robbing, murdering, all of that. He started a riot. The dude was wild. He said, pick which one you want. The Bible says they all picked Barabbas. Just like Adam and Eve picked the wrong tree.
Wow.
The people picked the wrong tree.
Choices.
So that's what Barabbas being there standing beside Jesus represents spiritually. Just like in the garden, he had the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, Barabbas, and the tree of life. All Jesus knew was life.
Right.
Barabbas, tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He had choices. They chose that tree just like the people chose Barabbas. And the people said something that was really scary, and that's happening now. So Pilate was like, hey, y'all choosing Barabbas. He's notorious for this. He's done this. So, but this fellow Jesus hadn't done anything. They was like, it don't matter. Let his blood be on us and our children. So they cursed themselves.
Oh, wow.
So that's the story of Barabbas. And so they picked Barabbas. Barabbas went free. And Jesus was crucified. Which, on the grand scheme of things, we were Barabbas. All of us were standing next to Jesus.
Right.
And God said, you take their charge, and told us, go free Barabbas.
Right.
Now, I want to know what Barabbas did after he left. What you think Barabbas did? You think Barabbas straightened his life up? Did he stop robbing?
Probably not.
Isn't that a harsh reality?
What was that you talked about, that dog and his vomit?
Returns to his vomit.
What was that again? Tell us about that.
As
That's kind of what you're talking
Just
about.
like a dog returns to a vomit, so as a sow after being washed returns, a pig goes back to the mud after being washed. He says, so does a person after being cleansed go back to their old ways. So that's good.
So probably Barabbas went back to his old ways.
Sheesh.
Okay.
Was that what you wanted?
No, I'm not done. This is the last little quick bit.
All right.
One of our questions we always ask: what series you watch too much? What movie you watch too much? So this is going to be a repeat Yoda moment. Can you tell them again about the temptation behind your back story?
Okay. All right. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10 says that no temptation has come upon you except that which is common to everybody. Said, but God is faithful. He will also provide you with a way of escape. So we know temptation comes with the devil. He's the tempter. So the devil comes with the temptation in his hand, but he's got his other hand behind his back, right?
Right.
And he's waving the temptation because he knows what you like. He has a dossier on you, so he knows what you like. He's read your resume, and you love what he's showing you. But if we ever pat the brakes and say, you know what? What's behind your back? What's in your other hand? He has to take his hand from behind his back and say, it's the freaking way of escape.
Right.
But we never pause to say, show me your other hand.
Well, you know what's deep is that sometimes you may not want to know.
That's the thing. We'll know.
Because we enjoy being tempted.
Oh, we enjoy what?
You don't want to know the answer.
You don't want him to show you the other hand. That's a good point, Coach. Really good point. Yeah. Man, listen, y'all.
Yoda, you do it again, Yoda.
I'm crunk. That's crunk. I love the Yoda moment. Shout out to Lance. Shout out to Coach Lance. That was his idea. That was all his idea. The Yoda moment is his idea. I cannot listen, but that's my brother. We're doing this thing on and off the field,
making
man.
a difference. A sports podcast with a purpose.
This been your on the field, Coach.
Rest assured, this is your boy, Coach Boston, aka Steeler Nation. Rest assured.
Episode 4 has been your boy off the field coach, Mr. You Better Live, aka Mr. Football Know-It-All and Basketball Coach. We back. We in the building. Shout out to all of our listeners. Stay tuned. We got the website coming. We got the Facebook page already popping. So go to Facebook, look for On and Off the Field with your boy, Coach Boston and Rick Hesley. Listen, y'all, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for pulling up and tuning in with us and spending time. Coach,
peace.
We out of here.